Hi, my name is Tony, and today I'm going to show you how to make a delicious pumpkin smoothie from plantbasedonabudget.com. Start with really ripe bananas. You want them to be either this spotted or darker is fine. You don't want them to be too mushy because then it starts to have a bit of a fermented taste, but this is good, and even when it's mostly brown with just a little bit of yellow showing, that is also good. And what I'm going to do is peel 2 of them. And then break it in half. That's not quite half, but this will work. And I'm going to do it to the second one as well. This one is a little bit more ripened, so it's softer and harder to handle. If it has some of these brown marks right here, that's okay. I'm just going to break that in half too. I like to break them in half instead of slicing them before I freeze them, because then I know how much I have. So if a recipe like this one is calling for 2 frozen bananas, I know I need 4 halves. And I would put that in the freezer overnight, and I've already done it, but they would look like this. So I put it in an airtight container, froze it overnight, and this is what they looked like. These are all the way frozen through. And I'm simply gonna pop those into my blender. Now add in pure pumpkin puree, and I'm gonna put in about 1/4 of a cup, and we're just making sure that it's pumpkin puree. This one's from Walmart, and not pumpkin pie spice. And pour that directly in there as well. Pumpkin pie filling has a lot of extra stuff added. It has some spices, it has some sugar. We're only looking for the pumpkin puree, and you can even puree one yourself if you're growing them, or if you found them for cheap somewhere like a farmer's market, you can puree them yourself. Either way, we're looking for 1/4 of a cup. Then I'm gonna add in some plant-based milk, and I'm gonna start with 1/2 of a cup. And it can be any flavor you like. So if you want chocolate milk, that's totally fine. If you want vanilla, if you want unsweetened, that's what I'm doing. All of them work just fine. And it depends on the consistency that you like your smoothie, if we add more or not. So we're starting with 1/2 a cup. Then I'm gonna add in some pumpkin pie spice. We're looking for about 1/4 of a teaspoon, but if you like yours to have more of that spice, then add in more. I would start with 1/4 teaspoon and maybe go up to 1/2 a teaspoon or even a full teaspoon. And lastly, you can add protein powder. It might absorb some of the liquid, which means we'll add in some more of the plant-based milk, or even a splash of water at the end if you're out of plant-based milk. But I'm gonna add in some protein powder because I have it on hand, and why not? I just got this one because it was 20% off, so I stocked up. It's Wellius almond protein powder, and I like that it doesn't have a strong, overpowering taste, so I pop that into my smoothies. This is optional. You don't have to put in protein powder. I will link the one I have down in the caption just in case you are interested in checking it out. It's 18 grams of protein, and I'm gonna put in 1 scoop. I'm gonna put the top on, make sure I have this guy too, and get the blender going. I can see that I have a little bit of banana. It does not want to blend, and my tamper is in the other room, not called a plunger. If you've watched my really old videos, you know that Michelle, my podcast co-host, calls it a plunger, not a plunger. My tamper is in the other room, and it's like 15 feet away, which is too far. So try this again. If you don't have a high-speed blender, you can also start with 1 banana and then add in the other one later. And you can also add in a little bit more plant-based milk. Another thing, if you do not have a high-speed blender, slicing it up does help with that. It does make it easier in a standard blender to get blended all the way faster. Give this a try. It's really thick. So if you don't want yours to be thick like this, you can add in a little bit more plant-based milk. You can see the thickness. But I think I'm gonna stick with it thick, and it really is dependent on how big your bananas are. So if you have really big bananas, then it will be thicker. But if yours are a little bit on the small side, then it'll be thinner. And you can add in more plant-based milk to meet your desired consistency. This really does taste like pumpkin pie. Like a pumpkin pie that has a little bit of banana blended into it. That aftertaste of the pumpkin pie spice really stays, and it's also very refreshing. It doesn't have any added sugar and is also customizable. If you keep it this thick, you can also turn it into a smoothie bowl and put on some different toppings. Now I'm gonna add it into my cup. This is looking very milkshake-like, which I appreciate because it's a little warm in my house and I could use a refreshing beverage. But again, if I'm looking for a really smooth smoothie, then I would add probably 2 tablespoons at a time until I reached my desired consistency. And remember, with my protein powder, you can hardly taste it. And this glass right here has an extra 18 grams of protein, not so bad. And I know there are other proteins that I like that have 20 grams or even 25 grams. So if you want a boost of protein, smoothies are easy way to get them in with some protein powder. If you decide to give the smoothie a taste, then I would love to hear what you think. Please let me know in the comments below. And as usual, thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate your time, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.